All right, we'll see if I'm live on both platforms here. Let me just check with my little check here. Just decided to do this for no apparent reason, so hope you like it. If you don't, it doesn't really matter. Yeah, I see me live. There I am. Today I'm going to be working on some Drumline stuff. I should be live on both Hello Composers and on Make Music Income. Let's take a look. Make Music Income, there I am. And Hello Composers. See if I'm there. Little drum cadence. All right, going live this morning, doing a little bit of Drumline type stuff for a library I'm working on. So this will eventually be a private video. You won't be able to see this much after today. And so let's just look at Hello Composers and what is happening. Yeah, looks like I'm live there too. Cool. Going live this morning. All right, cool. Well, welcome everybody. Ooh, also celebrating what? It's 7,800? No, not 7,800 yet. All right, cool. Welcome if you're here. I'm going to be working today on some Drumline stuff for a Drumline album. I'll play what I have here in just a minute, but right now I'm working on this last section, and I'm going to be working on that. Tell me where you're watching from if you make anything in the comments. I'm interested to see if anybody ever even watches this or has any interest whatsoever in this. No, I don't need Final Cut Pro. Make sure my machine is nice and good. This is really messy video making. You know I like high and tight video making. Okay, so yeah, a few people here in the stream. Let me know in the comments if you've got any questions. I'll check them from time to time. Ronan, hey, good morning. Can you hear this? You know you probably can't, actually. Need to get logic going through there as well. Audio. It says it should be going through there. You guys hearing anything from drums? Because this says it's not. Wait a minute. I just see my own self. Looks good, sounds good, says Ronan. Good to see you, man. Let's see what's happening here. Nah, you're not hearing anything. I gotta tune you. I've got to tune Logic to play. But I think I know how to do that. So what I'm working on today is this Drumline album that I've kind of got for people, for a library that I'm working on. So let's see how I turn the sound around. I think I have to do that through my interface, and I'll do that. So yeah, trying to spend my mornings in the mornings just doing stuff. So I thought I'd throw a camera on. In a minute, I'm going to throw the camera down to the keyboard as I work. So I don't have a sophisticated setup here yet. Although I guess I could put you up here and you could see everything. That'd probably be better for you. Yeah, there we go. And let's see, I'm going to now, I'm trying to get some sound for you guys. Let's see if that's going through. Yeah, I see it going into the stream. See if I hear it on mine. It says it's not. see my own self. Looks good, sounds good, says Ron. So I thought I'd throw a camera on. Trying to get some sound for you. Yeah, you're hearing it. Cool. All right. There's sound going. Okay, so let's see if I can remember what I was doing here. All right, so I'm working here. Let's go to Ecamm. All good. Let's see if some people are hanging out here. Ronan's here. I've got a few other people here, I think. Doesn't matter. Yeah, I'm going to just be messing around on both channels today. Hello Composers, and eventually this stuff will only happen on Hello Composers as I compose. Why not? I'm just composing. So I am working on today a drumline piece, and this is the way it sounds, and we'll see how it sounds for you guys. Where it needs help, I'm going to be... Okay, so that's the piece. It's got a lot of repetition in it. So I'm gonna, right now what I'm trying to do is go in and now throw in candy and fills and different stuff. And around this third section here, I am going to be trying to bring in something there. So it's got an A section, got a B section, and then we've got this last section, the third section here. And so as it comes into this is where I'm going to introduce some kind of breakbeat kit, because this is kind of like Drumline meets hip hop a little bit, and so they like a lot of the stuff in there. Signature Music, hey, good to see you. Thanks for being here. Yeah, we're just messing around in here. I'm just doing something I've never done before because people say they want it, and so you get what you ask for. So, all right, and I'm going to eventually put this on a secret broadcast and our community eventually when I get it going, just because this is going to be going to a library. So probably anyone who is listening today is going to be hearing what I'm doing here. But some people have requested that I do this. So here we are doing it. All right, if it's too loud or anything, let me know. But so this third section, I need to... Need some kind of like thing like that where it's got a little break beat. something that's a little groovier than that. Just got word that Richard Roundtree, the guy who played Shaft in all the Shaft movies from the 70s, passed away. And so a little... Except it'd be more like, who is the man? Dun, 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 dun. Shaft. Shaft. He's a bad mother... Watch your mouth. Talk about Shaft. So, yeah, if you missed that moment, you're probably sorry you weren't here. Luckily, no one was here. Thank goodness. All right, let's do a little bit of stuff here on this. We can check these things out and see what's happening here. Anybody on the... I can't even tell this on my phone. How do people do this? Go live. I don't know. All right, it says 3 watching. But that's Make Music Income. I wonder if anybody's watching from the other channel, because I'm like live streaming on 2 channels at the same time right now. So it's kind of weird. How do people do this? So all right, here we go. Little breakbeat action on this third part here. Yeah. Just a little. Needs to have a little less drum line, a little bit more. Still didn't do what I wanted to do. I had it and I lost it. Let's go back to about 66. I was recording. Oops, didn't want that. Let's put my camera over there. I can't see what's going on. Oh yeah, all right, about here is where I was trying to start at. Something like that, just to add, trying to add now ear candy to this mother. Hey, Total PKG, I'm glad you're total loving it. This is the first time I've really done this kind of thing, and I might choose to fix a setup to do it more. I'm trying to get to a place where I'm always working in the mornings on productions, on things that I have to do for clients. And this is for a library right now that I'm working on, and they wanted college football percussion. I've already delivered one to them. I delivered one to them already this year, a full marching band type of album. Marching band with breakbeats, so different kinds of stuff. I am a finger drummer, so while I teach my students to do a kick at, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then put the snare in afterwards. then put the hi-hat in. When you do this for, I've been programming drums this way this is 2023. So at least mid-90s, I was doing this kind of thing. So how can I think that fast? Well, I don't know. I just, you kind of do what you do. And yeah, that's kind of the way it happens. I don't really have a knowledge now of how I do it, other than you practice anything long enough and you will get good at it, and you will it's all about practice. It doesn't matter what it is, but especially in playing your instrument. And so every drum set is basically mapped out in the same way. And by the way, this drum set that I'm using right now is a complete drum set, and it is Abbey Road 60s Drummer. I don't know if you can see that in the thing, if it's even coming up, but this is Abbey Road 60s Drummer. No, it's not. Yeah, there it is. And so, yeah. I was just looking for a drum set. It's not a very animated drum set. This is off the Complete Control stuff. So if I'm playing drums, it's like my left forefinger is playing the kick, my thumb is playing the snare, my right forefinger is playing the hat, and then other instruments also. So I don't know. You just get used to it. You just kind of learn to do it. I don't know what to really say about that. It's just kind of part of things. Hello, Matthias. Glad you are joining us today. Total PKG, glad to have you in the house, and I'm glad this is inspiring. I had just decided to just randomly go live today as I was working on some of this drum stuff. So let's see what we got there on this little part here, now that I've got little drums here. Also, then what I'm going to do is go ahead and quantize. I quantize everything, and I'm not sorry. It says 16th notes. We'll see if 16th note swings. Works all right. The challenge with this song is making sure there are enough sections that it doesn't get boring, because it kind of starts out with this same kind of thing. But what I am introducing here is basically just the snare line, the drums, and then there's some hi-hats that come in. And I don't know if you ever watch or know anything about marching band, but in marching band they have the cymbals. They have people who do the cymbals like this, psh, 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 right? But they also act as hi-hats in front of the snare drums. They keep their cymbals together, and they kind of open them up and down like this, and the drummers can use those cymbals as hi-hats. And so, yeah, this is kind of like, this is what's happening on the field. Matthias says, I had never expected such drum lines from you. You're known to me for the classic and jazzy stuff. You guys have no idea. No idea. I work on every genre. I've been producing for 30 years, and every client is a different genre. So I'm not just, producing on, just one thing at a time. I'm producing on lots of different things, and especially since I got into sync and into doing stuff for like libraries like Pond 5 and different things, that I totally got into all kinds of genres. I like all genres, and so I do everything from country to a lot of pop. I write a lot of pop music, and I write a lot of I'll probably show you here in just a little while, because I'm going to move from this to another song that I'm working on that is more classical in nature, more orchestral in nature. But any given day, I'm just trying to finish up this album right now, because I have this album that has been requested many months ago, but I finished all my Christmas stuff first before I went back to this Drumline album. So this one is called, and the Drumline album is going to have a lot of like first quarter, second quarter, it's American football, first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, and I'll show you some of the stuff here in a minute. But this one is getting close to done. As all the sections are done, I'm just adding some different things. And per my assembly line way of doing things, I am going into each piece that I've got up on the racks right now, and I am trying my best to add to each one a little bit. It's like the assembly line comes by, I stick this part on. Go like next song comes along, I stick this part on, and that's the way I can get a lot of stuff done for me. And so that's what I'm doing here. So let's see if there's any other candy that I can put into this thing. Come in here. Seems like I could use something else to happen here once everything is in. This is where, when I'm working on stuff, I like to make sure I have new stuff happening all the time, and I feel like this section just goes too long for many bars without something coming in. And so I think something needs to come in. This is Abbey Road. Let me rename these. I'm trying to get more organized. What was it? Abbey Road 80s drummer? Is that what it was? 60s drummer. And I'm trying to get more organized, because when I have to make stems, it's really easy in Logic now. I'm starting to use this thing called Track Stack. I'm not sure if you're familiar with Track Stack, but like for these snares, I would just right click and it says create a track stack, and basically it makes a subgroup, and I can just say snares. And so now when I go to print this, all I got to do is select this and print this snares channel, the snare sub, as a subgroup, and just bounce it in place, and then the snares are printed. And so I'm going to go through and I'll do that with, I guess I should probably include the rims in there, because those are snare things, but I might do those separately, and the hats by themselves, and the toms by themselves, and then whatever this, let's find out what this is. Yeah, this is some kind of instrument here. This is Butch Big Drums. So as you can see, there's other stuff in here that is I'm just going to say, let's say claps, because it's like claps, but it's like claps beat. And I'm also moving farther and farther away. I don't know about y'all, but I am moving farther and farther away from, oh man, thank you so much for the super chat. That might be the first super chat I've ever gotten. Man, thank you so much, Total PKG. I appreciate that. Yeah, I am trying to use different beats and stuff in here that add to the drum line. They specifically wanted like loops and stuff, but I'm moving farther and farther away from using any kind of loops. I am using loops right now. I'm using these loops down here, the Stylus RMX loops, which are just playing things like this. Let's see. So if I'm using loops, I'm trying to use something that's not too, and I mix them. So there's two different kinds of loops in this. There is this one by itself. There is, how do I do this? There is this one down here that's playing, and then I mix it with this one. And then I mix it with this. So I do have those loops going on. Now, the cool thing about these loops is they're old. And so unlike a lot of the loops that you see in that people are using these days, especially loops from newer stuff like the complete stuff, I try to stay away from those loops, and I try to completely make my own drum kits. And so that's why I am really sitting here playing this drum kit like this. I'm trying to play my own stuff using those sounds and stuff like that. So, yeah, man, Total PKG, thank you. Passion and tenacity is what it takes, folks. If you have a goal to like play music, or I should say make money, make music income, you got to be making music. And one of the reasons why I want to start doing some of these live things is because I need you to see how much time I'm spending. It's 10:29 a.m. here in Florida, and the first thing I try to do, and I had a couple options this morning. I could do some video things. I'm finishing up my course, my stock market course, and so I could have finished that out, and I could have worked on that instead of doing this, but I just decided, I said, you know what? I think I'm feeling Drumline today. So, but I try my best to make the early hours until about noon. I try to make them all about music making. Because, again, I do everything in an assembly line type of fashion. I will bring in I'll bring in songs up, and I'll say, okay, I know this is not quite done yet. It's not finished. I need another section, or I need to do stuff. And like this song, I called it up, and I said, okay, this is getting close to being done here. All I need to do now is add candy. So that's what we're doing. Let's get back to some candy. Thanks for everybody for hanging out. Appreciate it. So like I said, I think this section builds nicely. There's all sorts of rims coming in here and hi-hats and toms and stuff. Then it kind of breaks down through this section, and then we come back into the section. And then I have this big drums thing. In case you're wondering where these samples are coming from for Drumline, this Contact is using something called High School Drum Corps, which I bought recently. It's not bad. The snares, depending on where they are, they're coming from either that. Sometimes I use the snares in Logic. I use a lot of Logic stuff. This is just a Logic drum kit, I think. This one right here. Yeah, Detroit Garage. I use a lot of Logic stuff. Some of this stuff is developed when I'm away from my main setup. So I'm basically using Logic as all of my sounds. For this particular one, I use this use that sound. This, like I said before, it's the Butch Vig drums off of Complete, in the Abbey Road 60s drums. So we've got this one. Let's see what trouble I can get into here with this middle section. Snares are going to kind of come in. A lot of what I've heard lately and been thinking about is dynamics and how things kind of start at nothing and come up. And I think we need to think more about dynamics, especially in things that are, well, in everything, because we tend to stay in one dynamic level all the time. And so in this particular section, if I turn on the automation, you can see where the snares kind of come up. No, you can't. Why can't you? Why are the snares not showing? Where's my automation? Should be showing up. Oh, it's because of this. But I thought I had automation on them. No, I just played them. I just played them quietly and had them start out. I really don't feel like I have the best marching band samples to do this, but when you have as many snares and different plugins as I do, you can probably go in and just find what you're looking for. Client is here, says, I love your setup. Thanks. Just threw up a camera today, and we'll see. Eventually, maybe I will put a camera on the keyboard and a camera on me if I need to be on here. Damage 1 and 2 has some great toms. Is that for Drumline? There's another Drumline thing I really want, but it's a little expensive. But to be honest, this is my second Drumline album this year, so I might move on to some other. I have tons of other albums I want to get to and pitch, and I'm working on right now. I'm going to show you something here in a little while that is a Halloween type of cue-ish type of thing. It's more, I work on a lot of art music. I do what I want to do, and that's just my thing. Dual camera would be slick. Yeah, I can do it. I can hook up my phone, and then I can use the camera you're seeing there. I have a GoPro, but I can't figure out how to get it into my setup because Ecamm allows me to have all sorts of cameras, so I can do all sorts of stuff. But yeah, so let's move on here and see if I can get something cool happening with this. With this middle section. It starts about right here. And what would it be? Instrument 7 is all by itself, and it needs to be something electronic. So I'm going to, usually my first go-to, since I'm in the Native Instruments complete architecture, is to go to something on complete, because that allows me to really have a lot of possibilities to use, a lot of instruments, and the beauty is I can call them up right from here on the keyboard. So I will browse and see what I want to call up here. And unfortunately, you really can't see that as easily as I can. I guess you can see that, but what I'm seeing is pictures of these particular things, and I need something that I haven't used before. And I don't really have it's got to be drums. And Contact 7 has some stuff. I'm excited to get the new complete Mark III, because it really does something better with Contact, which is great, because I kind of hate Contact's interface. So I'll be excited to be able to do that from the keyboard. Man, having this Native Instruments stuff is like the old days. And only a few of you probably remember the old days when we would call all of our sounds up and just audition sounds right from the keyboard. And now I can do that because, like, if I'm on something called Prism. None of that stuff is what I'm looking for, because I am looking for, what's retro machines? Maybe I can find an 808-ish type of thing. Let's look for just for drums. See, I can tell it to play just drums, although I don't see any drums in Retro Machine. Percussion. I guess that's not what I'm looking for. So you can see how I'm kind of dialing through these different machines But unfortunately, it doesn't have like, I was hoping it would have like 808s and stuff, but I don't see it. So let's keep going through here. See, isn't this interesting? This is why I've never done this before, because I was like, why would people want to sit and watch me? I do have Spitfire Drumline. And it's relatively inexpensive. It's like $29. But to be honest, everything is got reverb packed in. This is one of my bugaboos with a lot of plugins, is that there's so much reverb like plugged into these. Like for instance, Museo. I really enjoy using Museo right now. I don't know if you guys have heard of Museo. It's by the people who do Cinesamples, and it is great. But anyway, getting back to some thoughts here. Matthias says, yes, action drums. They have great marching snares and drums. Action drums. Okay, who makes action drums? Let me know. Client says, client, who's your name? Unless that's your name. Sorry. Contacts interface is really Windows XP looking. Yeah, it is. It's really bad. It's this interface here. I just don't really like using it. Now this looks much worse here because on my screen I have like windows with little pictures of what I'm doing. But yes, agreed that it's not a very interesting, user-friendly thing. Now the newer one is a little bit more interesting because you can do searches by stuff. But the new Mark III keyboard that I'll be getting next is it has a better screen, but it also has a beautiful screen for contact. So all the contact instruments you should be able to kind of be able to work with a little bit better. All right, I need to get back to work here. See, you guys you're messing with my mojo. I don't have all day. Super 8. Any drum stuff there? What does Super 8 have? I don't know if these are sounds. I wonder if an 808 sound like that would be cool. All right, so it's loading up. Okay, some stuff doesn't work on. All right, so let's go back. Let's do something else. Let's go somewhere else. Complete control did not work, so we're going to have to go to someplace else. Let's go to drum synth. No, let's go to Drum Machine Designer in Logic, and let's put some stuff on here. One thing that's cool about Drum Kit Designer is you can go and find the thing you want. That's cool. And then on the snare, I can find the snares I want. Not seeing anything here. Well, kind of like that. And now I need a little hi-hat. On the hi-hat channel. Little hat. Where is maybe. Let's put a little whatever verb I'm using on this. What verb am I using on this? Everybody is using 4 and 1. Oh, I'm using small. Okay. I usually keep a small and a large. Scoring stage is my favorite off of Space Designer in Logic, but I usually just use some kind of small verb for this kind of thing. Not that much. All right, let's see what happens. don't know if that's going to work. I think I'm going to go find more of a full tool here to use. Get rid of this. Let's go back. Go back, go back, go back. Let's just take this channel off. I don't build a lot of kits myself. Mostly I am. I'm just going to delete this channel. Start again. All right, let's now turn this off. Why am I not turning that off? No. Let's just delete this track. All right, I got another track here that I haven't used yet. So let's go back to complete. Complete's the easiest way to find something quickly. I do have Museo now, and I'm really enjoying using Museo. I don't know if any of you have heard it, but it has a lot. Maybe it's got something. Let's look for some drums. I really haven't used it for anything other than orchestral so far. And let me get it where you can see it and get me out of the way. It's really cool kind of interface where everything is online, and so it's you can load up only what you need. And so I kind of like using it. Hopefully I'm going to do a video on it soon. Let's just say drums. Let's see what they got. I got a lot of orchestral stuff, which is what I got it for, to be honest. Let's see about kits. So they got some drum kits here. Vintage drum machine. Ooh, vintage drum machines. That's what we're looking for. Yeah, let's go with the 909. And basically it just loads up and it shows up over here. One of the problems I have, though, is a lot of times it will add its own reverb, but this didn't. So where's that low? Oh, it's gonna need some sound there. Oh, I know why it's not doing that. Museo has its own dynamics that you can turn on. So I'm gonna. Where is it? Haven't used any of the sounds from Museo that are not orchestral just yet. Okay, everything seems okay here. I'm just going to turn it up in the channel because it is not going to cut. Maybe some compression or something would help. Ooh, I got a new I got the free LA2A compressor. That helps everything. Watch this. Don't know how to use it, but let's see if that adds anything. Nah, there's no way that's going to cut through. Back to complete for now, where I know what I'm doing. If you have any suggestions, let me know what you'd use. Daydream says you need to load a contact instrument. Action drums is part of complete. Well, let's see if it's part of my complete. Sorry, I can only see so many screens here. Let's go to that. Matthias, aren't you supposed to be work? Oh no, it's night. It's afternoon. You're probably at home by now from work. All right, to complete we go. And I don't even have to look at that. All I gotta do is look at my screen. So action drums. Do I have action drums? I don't. I only have a certain level. I don't think I have action drums. So I'm not seeing action drums here. To be honest, I have not been through everything I have. You know, that's the problem, y'all, with having so much sounds is finding them. That's why I tend to go back to the same places all the time. What is Soul Sessions? It's a little loud when you audition sounds, so sorry if that's too loud. All right, no, I'm going to go back to, I don't have action drums. I don't know why, unless it's in Contact. and I just don't know. And I can't dial up contacts, so I literally have to go into here. But this is what I have in contact, if you can see, when contact comes up. So I don't have action drums for some reason. It must be part of the biggest version of it, which you probably have, Matthias, but I do not have it. So thanks y'all for hanging out. Just messing around over here this morning. Trying to add a little stuff. Thought I'd throw a camera up and let you guys see what was going on. Melted Vibes. Any drums in Melted Vibes? I'm just playing around. Let's go back to... See, the thing about Contact 7 is I can pretty much access all those to complete, and I can access those right here on my keyboard, so I don't have to mouse around with things. I was messing around with 40s drums, 40s VO drums. These might cut. Something like this might cut. So these have loops. But as I just said, I don't like to play loops, so let's see if something like this will cut. Something like that. And basically what I've just found one of these loops up here. That's going to do exactly what I need right here. So start this section. I'll wait and bring that back in right here too. Like that old 80s drums, or 60s drums. I'll use this for like a fill. So I kind of just played the loop in kind of an original way, and now I need to make sure it is nice and quantized. So now when it comes to I also need a little bit of verb on that as well. Put a little hat in there with it, just to give it a little bit more electronic feel. They wanted a hybrid type of marching band, and put a little alternate, whatever this electronic kit is. Like that. let's do some stuff like that. One more time. Almost. All right, and then I'll do some more of that here too. I'm liking that. I like it. I just did not play it well. Let's do a little doo 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 at the end there. I don't know if you'll hear it, but all right. Quantize that up. Let's get it nice and tight. So let's see how this section sounds now. Yeah, that's third quarter push. I think that will do it for now on that one. So, in true assembly line style, I will stop there because that's all I feel like doing for today on that. I want to move to something else. I got other things to do as far as other music things I want to get to while I'm in my zone here. This I think I have a 12 o'clock appointment anyway with somebody. But still, I try to go to about noon in the mornings. No, it's not till 1. But I try to go to about noon in the mornings on audio with my keyboard here in front of me. Then I'll move my keyboard over here and I'll just pull up to the desk and I'll start doing video things for the channel or client work. And so, yeah, Arco, thanks for being here. Good to see you. Yeah, I don't know, wild hair. I've always thought, who would be interested in seeing me just talking while I'm working on stuff, but maybe you are. So I am kind of double dipping and putting this on both channels. There's a few people have watched and checked in on Hello Composers, and I knew most people would see me here on. There's another channel I might stream to, a third YouTube channel, which is a keyboard channel that I have, but I think it's Robert, glad to have you in here. He says it's not often I get to see another composer work his craft. And yeah, I know Hey there. Yeah, I know there's a perception here on this channel that all I do is just make videos about making music income and or teach or whatever. And this is teaching. I mean, this is a form of teaching. But this is what I do in the mornings, folks. This is how I'm able to talk about. You can't talk about music income unless you've made income from music, and you can't make income from music, licensing stuff and all that kind of stuff, unless you make the music, which I am doing now. So, yeah, good to have you all here today, and thanks for hanging out with me as I just mess around this morning. And so, in true assembly line session, I will save that and I will move on. I want to move to what I was working on yesterday, which is a version of a song that you might know, and see if anyone can recognize what this is. I had sketched it all out in Logic, and now I have added some Musio support. I'm really liking Musio as a support instrument. I don't have any huge libraries besides Spitfire Albion. That's probably the most expensive library I have. And it's good. It's mostly sections, and so it doesn't have solo instruments. I work with a lot of solo instruments, or I work with Logic, and I'll sometimes want to replace their soloist, or I'll work with a section, and then I'll want to replace the lead player. I like to have a section with a lead player, usually. I don't know how you guys like to work with orchestral, but so far, that's kind of my orchestrating process, is to put in the orchestral part. And so, for instance, I've got everything kind of, put out here, the bassoon part, flutes and clarinets, English horns. This is mostly, there is if you listen to, which soundtrack is it? It was the recent show Ahsoka on Star Wars, and they used a lot of like cello, really spiccato cello. I'm really into that sound, but I'm more into the violas, actually. I think violas, and my other favorite instrument right now is clarinet, and I think both of those are pretty unsung heroes in the orchestra. And so I've been starting with violas lately. And so in this one, I started with double basses and violas in playing spiccato, and then the bassoon does the solo for this. So I noticed this felt a little slow, so I'm going to speed it up just a little bit and let you see what this sounds like. This is called Through the Wood Darkly. It's part of my Hallowmas collection, which is taking like Christmassy songs and turning them into Halloween-sounding songs. And I did a bunch and put them out last year. They're up on Spotify, and then I've decided to do a few more this year. And these are non-exclusive, not for a specific library. These are just things that I am doing because I want to do them, and that's the way I do most of my stuff. So this is Through the Wood Darkly. I still have a section to develop in this, so I'll show you when we get there what that is. Probably got to shorten this area here. Strings are too loud. so those this is what I worked on yesterday, and which was the woodwind B section. Anybody recognize that melody that is in the chat here? I'd be interested if you could realize if you would be able to tell me what you're listening to there. Hello, those of you who are watching on Hello Composers, thanks for tuning in there. This is eventually where I will do all of this kind of stuff is over at my Composers channel called Hello Composers. I promise I'm trying to put more content over there. I've got my second podcast, which is really interesting stuff, and I just haven't had time to put stuff up there of late. But I'm not going to work on this song today just because I'm not in the mood. I've got to really work out all the string type stuff. Oh, thank you, Seven. Appreciate that. Yeah, this is a version of through the river and through the woods to grandmother's house we go. But I did it minor. Through the river and through the woods. So it's got a lot of weird kind of things happening in it, so it's a little different than the normal version of it. But again, this is the Halloween version. So I'm not going to work on this one because I do not feel like doing all of this voice leading and stuff and all the woodwind type stuff I'm going to have to do there. So let's see what else I can get into today. I'm very happy with that. I'm going to put that in around Thanksgiving. This is a Thanksgiving song. I've been looking for Thanksgiving songs. So I'm going to bring up this song called Tunnel Entrance. And this is another one. Uh-oh, this doesn't sound good. This is another song that has to do with the college football type stuff. And this is just a start I have on it. Why? All right, Logic wants to quit, so hang on just a second. Hey, it's just software, It can't help. It can't help it. It's just software. I try to tell my students at school where I teach them, it's just software. It's not its fault. It's just a computer. Don't be mad at it. All right. Looks like we're back here. Okay, so this is Tunnel Entrance, what I've got so far on that. It just started the other day. Come on, computer. Play along. Okay, so the goal of this song is to have that feeling of the march of the marching band at a college football game coming out of the tunnel, and they're kind of like marching in. I was in marching band, and so I remember what it was like to march onto the field, and you usually had some kind of cadence that you're using. This is an AT, I'm not sure which one, Audio-Technica mic of some kind. And had it forever, and I've had it since back in, gosh, it's almost been 20 years. I've had a mic like this sitting here, so, but it's just a regular old cheapo AT mic, Audio-Technica mic, that I just use and it just seems to work. I have another mic that also I used for podcasting when I first started this channel, and yeah. So some things aren't working on this. I noticed the drum roll at the first, which was I'm using all Spitfire audio. I told you earlier that Spitfire audio has a bunch of marching band sounds, and so I was using those. I tried just starting with those the other day, and so that's what this is. Let's see if I can get this sound. That's what this sound is supposed to be. I just didn't play. Yeah, I've got better samples for that. All right, so what I want to do here is go ahead and start with some, what's this? Okay. Too much verb there. I'm putting a lot of reverb on it right now just because, hey, have a great day, Matthias. Thanks for joining me today. I appreciate you. I put a lot of verb on this because it's in the tunnel. It's in the tunnel of the stadium. And so that's one reason why I've got a lot of verb on this. But now I need to add some kind of backbeat, trap beat or something like that to this because I'm trying to add that kind of stuff. So let's start a new instrument here. And if you're in the chat, tell me what you use for your DAW. Always interested to hear what people are using as their DAW. All right, let's go back to complete. Let's go to Stylus. Stylus is an old program from Spectrasonics, early old. I got it in 2003, I believe. And it's upgraded to RMX over that time, and they've got some different things on it. But Stylus is more of a loop-based program, so it's just got a ton of loops. But what I'll do is find a loop I like, and let's see here. Want something with some energy, some urban type of stuff. And we're at 126. Let's find something that's in that type of world. Yeah, something like that's going to be nice. And then I can play that on the keyboard. Somewhere. What is happening with my thing here? Oh, this one. Usually, let's just put it on a track. Oh, there it is. Because it's playing the loop chromatically. I'm just not finding that Are we, no. What is the loop again? Here, where's the snare? There it is. Might be cool for this. Let's put a little verb on this so it sounds like everything else. It's gonna be a little loud, maybe. We'll see what it sounds like. So that's giving me a little bit of the kind of trap-ish. Let's go ahead and gonna quantize that. Remember, when you're working on here, the main things I need to tell everybody who is watching this, you make sure that you are not only playing with the click, Now, this sounds basic, but if you're somebody who is just watching this and saying, I don't even really know how to do all this stuff, make sure you're playing with the click so that then you can quantize, because you can't quantize if you didn't play with the click. With the click. And I know a lot of people are like, duh, I've been doing this for a long time. But then there's a lot of people who have never done this. I have students come into my class where I teach at a local university, and they have never made any MIDI in their life, or the MIDI or the stuff they've done in FL is all done for them, because if you're using FL Studios, no disrespect, but it's made for people who don't really know music and how to make it. So what they are going to do is just use this loop that I was just using in here in Stylus. And so they're just going to play this loop, right? But instead of playing that loop, where's my kick? I made my own beat using those sounds. And so you use the loop to find the kind of sound you want. And then you go to the pieces of it. There's also some hats, so I can throw some hats in there. I don't think I'm going to throw hats in off this. So what's cool about Stylus is then I can take this and go to I can make a new MIDI channel, make that on the MIDI channel 1. Now, when I say duplicate the channel, or I have it already set up to go to the next MIDI channel by hitting N, and it goes to channel 2. Go back there, and on MIDI on the second channel down here, I can choose another thing. And I'm looking for now hi-hats. So I'm going to go to the groove elements and go to hi-hats. And so now I can find some hi-hat beats. That's kind of different. Hi-hat beats sometimes I will use. Let's see. So if I want that, I can just throw that right over here onto the line. And that might be something to add in as it grows. So let's see if we start. Okay, so I kind of like that going on. Hi-hats. Tenors. In case you don't know what tenor drums are, they're when you see people marching with those 4 drums around them. Those are the tenor drums, kind of like toms, except thinner and well, they sound like this. Wish I had 4 really good tenors. This is what I really don't. That's what I'm using. And so that's what comes in right here where it says tenors. Okay, so here's a very important compositional element to speak about. I've introduced this beat. I have the beginning part, the A section. Okay, when we teach people how to do things, a lot of times what I talk to them about is an A section and a B section. The A section in a popular song would be a verse, and the B section would be the chorus, the catchy part everybody sings. A lot of times in compositions like this, I've already got this whole piece, and it's about 34 seconds long. For the purposes of what I'm doing this for, which is television uses and sports and things like that. I am going to be sending them 2-minute-ish files, before or more or less 2 minutes. And so this is probably time to get to the B section of this. So if we mapped out each section and they were all 30 seconds long or 34 seconds long, then they would end up being right close to, we're going to be getting close to 2 minutes. So that is kind of what I need to do now. Now I need because people get bored by hearing the same thing all at once. So now my inclination usually would be go to snares, because in the people who write drum breaks are usually snare drummers, usually, not always. I don't know if there's any people who have ever been in a percussion section before here, but if you have, you know that somebody is usually the writer of the drum breaks, and a lot of times it's the snare guys, just because they are more, they're always writing cool snare type of things, and so they're writing. So what if we did a little snare break here? We'll start about right here. Put a little loop together just to keep me coming back to this part here. And I imagine this is going to be about this long. See what the initial snare pattern was before this. Okay, so my goal is to get away from that taka 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 da da. I don't want to do now. I want to change the rhythm to something more like this. Okay, and then I might just use that as a loop and repeat that a few times. So let's stop our loop there. Let's go and see what was the other snare using as quantizing. So let's put this up with the snares, because I think that's the same sound, right? No, this is not panned. I like this though. I played it on the tenor channel. I need to put it back with the snares. New track with duplicate settings. Put it down here. Let's call this B section of the snares. More snares. Always need more snares. Snares B. This is the B section of the snares. Okay, not quantized. Let's get it quantized. No, not that. It's more triplets maybe. 16 triplets. No. Swing. No. When I work with quantizing, I'm just guessing. Might be so many. Or I just played badly, which is more likely. Yeah, that's what happened. I didn't play well. Let's play it again. Sometimes you just, students ask me all the time, I played it in. Why isn't it all sounding good when I quantize it? Well, you may not have played it in very well, and that's what I didn't do. What I need to do is put a loop in for me to play along with. That'll get me more in the, I'm just going to steal this, I'm just going to carry this loop on so I'll know a beat that I'm playing against, because I couldn't hear the click. Nope. Got to play with the click. I wanted to do something different. You got to be careful that this doesn't get too repetitive. I actually don't like playing with that beat. Just need to be able to hear the click. One more time. I want to go bop, 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 bop right there. Almost. Let's just start from there. Okay, so I'm going to join those two together, and that's going to be my snare. Make sure that's quantized. All right, let's see what this sounds like and if it's nice and quantized. Yeah, now let's have some tenor drums come in and do some things like, just like. The beautiful thing about this is it's laid out across the keyboard, so I can go. So now I'm going to undo that. I'm going to go back to the loop and like something like that, kind of like randomy sounding, but not. And then at some point we'll have the, and then I think we'll wait until the, we'll do that one more loop. That's going to put us about a minute in. And we'll just wait until this part, and we'll start the other stuff like kick or bass drum. Or maybe no, I got a better idea. So now I'm going to go back to the basses. You don't know anything about marching band, there are usually up to 5 different size bass drums, and so when you're making stuff, you're always trying to kind of think about how it's really made, especially when you're trying to make realistic stuff like orchestral stuff, or in this case, marching band stuff. Now, yeah, I know I'm adding like in beats and stuff to the marching band, but the I'm trying to think, how would a marching band sound like? Now, I don't have these aren't great. Again, I'm trying to use only the Spitfire marching band drumline thing that I got, and I will add. What I do is I usually will pick one set of instruments and use those to sketch with, and that's what I'm kind of doing right now. So it's got really 3 good ones. So I'm just gonna try to, I'm gonna just mess around here. So I'm going to make this kind of randomly too. basically what I'm doing is trying to grow that a little bit, and I will quantize that as well. Did I quantize the tenors? Yeah. The loop sometimes messes up. I'm gonna take out the drums at the beginning. The important thing when you're orchestrating or you're trying to make something that's interesting, and this is especially when you're working in DAWs like this, is to make sure that you're always additive. You're always adding new stuff in to keep the ears interested. This is something I talk to students about all the time, and that is what are you? The listener is not you. You could just sit there and create all these parts, and they all just go on and they loop and loop and loop and loop, and all that's good. But the problem is that gets boring for the people who aren't you. And so in a thing like this, you have to imagine these people are marching, and eventually they're adding new stuff in, and we're trying, again, I talked about dynamics earlier, trying to add more and add more and add more. And so that's what we're doing. All right, so here we go. I'm going to wait and let the basses come in here. So that means so I'm coming out of this section. So in the same way, I might not let the tenors come in right away. So we just drop right off this glyph. That sounds better. The tenors come in. Can bring these hi-hats back in. So we bring in a little electronic. Now we could actually paste them here and just let them loop all the way. Except what I might do is automate them so they kind of come up out of nowhere. They go down here at the end of this and they just go down. And at first they disappear. But they slowly sneak up on us. No, I don't like it. Don't like it. Going away. Goodbye. Not what I wanted. Let's look at this. I don't know if that's coming back yet or not. See, these are decisions you got to make. Again, this is probably the marching band's time and less of the time for the rest of the stuff. Okay, you know what? I think that's going to be a good place for me to stop today. Usually when I get to a place where I'm just like, what do I do from here? That means my brain might be tired. My brain might be ready to take a break and go get another cup of tea or something, and I'm about out of tea. And as you know, the tea is a very important thing for me. But thanks for everybody who has hung out with me in this. Thanks to Total PKG Productions, man. Thanks so much. Appreciate you today. Super chat. That's amazing. Thank you so much for that. Hope you have a great day. I hope this has taught you something. And feel free to email me either at hellocomposers@gmail.com or email me at makemusicincome@gmail.com. And be glad to answer any other questions you might have. Thanks everybody for joining. I've been going for about an hour and a half. That's certainly, who would want to see more than that? But yeah, this is my first try at this kind of thing. I didn't know if anyone would have any interest in it, but it seems like you guys have had fun. So thanks so much. Peace out. I'm going to go do some other things and do some video things and do some client things and do some teaching things later on today. So that's my day. Thanks so much for hanging out, and we will see you guys next time on the stream. I don't know when I will do this again. Maybe every Wednesday. Maybe every Wednesday. This is something I will do in the mornings as I'm working on music. Maybe that'll be what we do. So thanks. Peace. We'll see you next time. Thanks. Bye-bye.